Evolution, though, I think, and nature, I think we both see as something slightly different. Um, Darwin's theory of natural selection I see as completely valid. However, I see no intelligent reason to assume it's the only causal force acting in the natural world. There's plenty of biologists and scientists working to understand emergence and the complexity of biological life. The ability of organisms to self-organize, not as though that there's some soul or magical essence within the biological container that's like designing it from the inside out. Not like that. Something, though, a little bit more conscious and aware than merely this blind genetic mechanism which does nothing but accidentally mutate, and through those mutations accidentally gain some advantage over other organisms. The way I see it, if this brain and body system, if its only real purpose is to try to pass on its seed, if that's the only ultimate motivation for life, we would have remained single-celled bacteria, because there's the least amount of suffering at that stage of evolution, and the most amount of genetic, the ability to spread the genetic code. Bacteria were the first life forms, and they're still here, 2.5 or 3.5 billion years later. So if life was only about survival and the continuation of the line of the genetic code, we would have remained bacteria. But life has not remained bacteria. Life has complexified. Life has, for some reason, agreed to the cost of more suffering in order to go deeper and deeper into this experience of being sentient and alive and conscious and intelligent. Bacteria became multicellular organisms, and multicellular organisms became sexual organisms that have to find mates and go through this very stressful activity of trying to court one another, and then you got reptiles became mammals, which have this higher propensity to live in social groups and to feel compassion and love for one another, and you have the primates who start using tools, and then Homo sapien who starts speaking a language, and all this amazing stuff starts to occur, which at each step becomes more and more susceptible to pain, to suffering, to anxiety. So I guess you could say that, yeah, nature has always been trying to survive all along the way, but it's a survival which, as evolution complexifies, becomes more and more open to the possibility of more and more intense suffering, more and more beauty at the same time, too. So to me, it seems like the only reason evolution, or the only reason life has gotten to the point it is today, with human beings having conversations with one another, is because the benefit of the beauty of love and experience outweighs the cost of the suffering that is also necessary for there to be beauty, for there to be happiness and fulfillment. These things only exist because of the possibility that they may not, that tomorrow the worst, most awful thing could happen. I don't particularly look forward to the day when technology is supposedly able to extend human life indefinitely, because to me that means life ceases to have a purpose. Meaning ceases to exist, because meaning is about the intensity of one's experience. Intense because it's fragile. It could end at any moment. And with immortality as an option, that intensity just evaporates, because there's no point in appreciating what you have, because you'll always have it indefinitely. I'd much rather not know when my end will come. I'd much rather not be in control of the future, because if I am in control, if I know what's going to happen, what's the point? None of this is to say that I don't agree completely with you that we ought to understand that this kernel of sentience that life seems to develop, it's maybe stronger in more complex organisms like humans, and less intense in bacteria. But it is most important, this ability to suffer, and ability to love, and to experience beauty, to experience the truth. I agree that we ought to look out for this kernel of subjectivity, this kernel of consciousness that nature has given rise to, and that nature, I think, is still capable of sustaining and supporting. It sort of requires consciousnesses, it requires that we cooperate with nature in order for that to work, which I think we're capable of. So look, we're in complete agreement about most things, Gary. We really are. So let me know what you think about what I've said. We'll go from there. Take it easy.